I just want to make sure that I understand. My records show that these acts on your immediate family members started when she was 12 and ended not long after she reported it, which means she was in her 20s. She was 19. Is that correct?
I think that's what was stated, ma'am. Yes,
You're the perpetrator, you would know.
ma'am. That what was said from the time she was 12 to 22.
I'm asking you, you're the perpetrator, you're the person that was involved. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You heard that correctly, and they're referring to his biological daughter, yet somehow he is up for parole. He's up for parole before his full term date of 2061. You know, make it make sense. We're going to watch the parole hearing and I'll unpack it with what details I have at the end.
Okay, Mr. Biot, you are a first offender. You are parole eligible on 2/17/25. Your good time date is 10/21/36 with a full term date of 10/19/2061. You were given a 60-year sentence for the crimes of aggravated incest, forcible rape, and forcible rape. 25 years and 25 years and 10 years. How do you does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Today, speaking in opposition, we'll have Erica, one of the victims, and Ms. Brown, who will be speaking on telephone because she was unable to get in by a Zoom, one of the victims. So we will get to them at the proper time. Mr. Biot, tell me something. What did you do and why should we consider letting you out today?
Well, I made a terrible mistake, sir. I was at a bad point in my life, and the drugs and the alcohol played a big part of what happened.
Okay. And what happened?
With the rape, both of them. There was nothing. I can't take it back. What happened? I can just ask God and everyone else to forgive me. I wasn't in my right state of mind. That's to say the least.
Okay. All right. And why do you think we should let you out today?
Well, I'd like a second chance if being granted by this board and everybody else, and maybe I could make amends some kind of way and leave my kids something. And whoever I heard, I'd sure like to do any kind of counseling or whatever I can to make amends for what I did.
All right, Mr. Biot. And my last thing before we move on, how long have you been in prison on this charge?
20 years, sir.
20 years. Okay.
Why do we have a hearing?
Okay. Warden, what do you have to say?
I can tell you that Mr. Biot is medium custody. He's assigned to MAG 2 and he works in a mattress factory. He has a total of 7 DB reports, the last being 4/20/2014 for Rule 1. He just got his GED in September of 2023. He has completed 3 phases of sex offender treatment. He has anger management, substance abuse, 100-hour pre-release.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Currently enrolling, thank you. He's currently enrolling, thank you for a change too. He's currently enrolling, thank you for a change.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now we'll speak to Ms. Darden. Can you hear me? It shows that she signed in. Okay, let's speak to our other daughter, other victim. victim. I think she's gonna be on the telephone. Is she listening right now? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thanks. Great. Would you tell us what you want to know, what you want us to know about Mr. Bigot?
This man destroyed my life,
Okay,
destroyed my entire family. And when I came to me with him being paroled on today, everything stopped. I don't even know how. I guess the reason I'm speaking today is not only because for myself and my family, but my daughter that turned 16 years old today.
okay, we thank you for getting on. We know it's very hard. Ms. Is she with you or is she on?
Hang on 1 second, I can text her.
You still there?
Here.
Okay, Mr. Barra, I had a question for you.
Are you related to Mr. Bigot? Is he a family member?
I'm his daughter.
Daughter, okay, that's what I thought. Just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Okay, we're still waiting on,
She texted me back and said that her mic isn't working.
right, we wanted her to just call in like you did, and we put her on speakerphone. So if you could advise of that, we'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay,
Can I ask him a question?
yeah,
Ms. Lou, I
while
have
we're
a
waiting,
question for you.
yeah,
So I see in my records that you had a parole hearing in 2007,
Yes, ma'am.
but you didn't have a parole date. Parole eligibility date is 2025.
Well, I think what actually happened was before I had those other two charges, the first charge was in St. Mary Parish. And I was about up for the third of my sentencing, right? When I went on the parole hearing, they said that I had a detainer, which was in Vermilion Parish.
I got you.
And originally they said that no other charges was gonna be brought upon me, but
But it was a different parish. I got it.
all right, Mr. Billiard, yeah, we got that. Okay, now Ms. Ledoux, will be leading this, hearing. Ms. Ledoux?
I just want to make sure that I understand. My records show that these sexual acts on your immediate family member started when she was 12 and ended not long after she reported it, which means she was in her 20s. She was 19. Is that correct?
I think that's what was stated, ma'am. Yes,
When you're the perpetrator, you would know.
ma'am. That what was said from the time she was 12 to 22.
I'm asking you, you're the perpetrator, you're the person that was involved. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. I see you have taken sex offender phases 1 through 3. Do y'all have 4 and 5 there?
Yes, ma'am, we do have 4 and 5. 4 and 5 are for those who want to become mentors and teach the class.
I understand. Thank you for that, coordinator. I didn't know that. So what would be your plans if you were to be released?
Well, I would love to get my captain's license back and to let the board know and the victims also, I'm totally drug free. I have been for a long time. I know that's what a lot of this caused this situation. And I'd like to get my captain's license back and go back to work. And work on the boats like I did. I was a pretty good captain. And, if I can, whatever I can and whatever I could do to help and to rebuild any kind of relationship, to help my family, get my family back in order, I'd do it.
So, but where would you live? You don't have a planned,
Well,
Right.
Miss Marion, Mr. Dwight Johnson found a place somewhere in St. Tammany, which I'm not familiar with the area at all, but they said that they would accept me there. But the first step was to make parole.
okay, I got you. Because it is difficult to find a residence as a sex
Yes,
offender.
ma'am, I understand.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I don't have any other questions.
I have no question. Mr. Barra?
I have no question.
Okay, is the panel ready to vote?
Mr. Billiot, you served 19 of 60 years. The history of how long this abuse took place, I am going to be denying your parole today.
Yes, ma'am.
I vote also to deny parole today due to the seriousness of the crimes, the multiple victims, number of times the crime was committed, the age of the victims, 12 and 13 years old, strong law enforcement opposition, and victim opposition. But I recommend that you complete as many classes as you possibly can before you come before the board again and continue trying to learn as much as you can about your problem.
I concur with my colleagues. It's a very, very, very troubling crime committed on family members. 19 years, I vote to deny. Your parole's been denied, 3-0. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
You know, again, he's supposed to be there for 60 years and he's up for parole after 20 because that's just how parole eligibility works. And to think that the survivors, the victims have to come up and have to have the fear that he can get paroled. And I guess good on the DAs in the other parishes who came out and got him, because otherwise he would have gotten out much earlier. Remember, he had his first parole hearing and I think it said 2007. And then the other parish came in and said, wait a minute, no, we're going to get you. We're going to get you in these parishes. And I'm guessing that's because he committed the crimes in multiple parishes. He would have been moving. It was over a 20-year period. So he would have gone up for parole in 2007. They would have said, wait a minute, no, we're going to charge you for that. And good on them for doing that. Good on them for doing that, because otherwise he'd probably be out by now, if you can think about that. We have seen cases where those get out already. And but I would have liked to see the DA here. They were there alone. They were struggling with their phones. They were struggling. Just be there. Send the victim advocate. Show up to the parole hearing. That's the right thing to do. We want to see DAs show up more. Now, what's crazy again is about the legislation in Louisiana, where the law is actually written as how much a judge can even sentence someone for this kind of act. A person convicted of this crime shall be fined an amount not to exceed $50,000 or imprisoned with or without hard labor for a term of not less than 5 years, no more than 20 years. So in the legislation it's written into the law, if you were a judge in Louisiana and a father is brought before you and either a jury finds him guilty or the DA says we're doing a plea deal, and as a judge, the maximum you could sentence him, this father, this cockroach, would be 20 years. Why is that written into law? Why is there a maximum? Why is there a minimum of 5 years? Why should a judge be allowed to say, you know what, I think you should just get 5 years for doing this? To me, that's insane, because you get more time for possession of possession with intent to distribute. And here it is, right? if you're curious to see it. So a substance classified as Schedule 1, which is marijuana, devil's lettuce, right? Upon conviction, should be sentenced to a term of imprisonment of hard labor for not less than 5 nor more than 30 years. 30. So again, possession with intent to distribute a plant that is legalized in the majority of the states. I believe it's the majority now in the United States of America, and very soon will be legalized in all 50 states, I believe. You can get 10 years more than if you do this, to your child. Make that make sense. Make it make sense. How do let's imagine us sitting across the table from these lawmakers and say, excuse me, sir or ma'am, why is it that you think a judge should be allowed to sentence someone who possession with intent to distribute the devil's lettuce 10 years of a longer sentence, lock them up for 30 years, 10 years longer than a cockroach we just watched who did this to their child? Tell me. We're just sheeple. We don't have PhDs. We're not in government. We're not that smart. I understand, lawmaker. So educate us, because we really want to know. We really want to understand why you feel this way. What do you think their answer will be? What type of word salad do you think we would hear? How is it possible that these laws still exist? How is it possible that we live in a society where something like this can exist? I don't know. I'm just demanding. I have no idea. I don't have a PhD. I don't understand the workings of the algorithm. We'll just stick our head in the sand and expect that those in charge, they know best. And with that, I'll let you go.